Errol Spence predicted that Terence Crawford would have issues with former promoter, which used to be his current promoter for pretty much a decade, Bob Arum. I could prove it 100% in this video. Stay tuned. We unpacked.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Mr. Spence.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. We unpack coming to you live. Before I get into the actual clip itself, I want to give you guys a little bit of a preamble. Now, I gotta make these videos because here on YouTube, I'm the king, and I put out these content in these videos, and some people agree, some people disagree. But the people who claim to disagree, you know, it gets to a point where what are you disagreeing with when the truth is in your face? Now, I will in this video prove that Errol Spence, just like myself, has stated what the real problem is in making the fight. That doesn't seem to be good enough, so I got to continue to pump out videos. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We got a lot more content. Make sure you guys stay tuned. But there's many people, including myself, Errol Spence, and others, who have warned Crawford of an eventual fate that now has him suing former promoter Bob Arum. And there's a lot of name pointing and name blaming and finger pointing from pretty much Crawford's side, or Crawford fans will say, right? And one thing that's not being taken into account is this lawsuit where Terence Crawford claims Bob Arum's revolting racial bias has hurt his career. And this is not even underway yet. You know, this was one of the first big pieces of news. Like, it was a slow news cycle in boxing. And then January 12th, this bombshell broke, right? And I've made several videos about that, talking about it. Yet and still, some people don't get the point. So I'm going to prove to you in this video that people like myself and Errol Spence have warned Crawford of these imminent moments that he's now facing. And I'll probably talk a little bit more, since it's to unpack, about the actual lawsuit. Without further ado, roll the clip.
Mr. Spence.
Now, this is Errol Spence directly after a Terence Crawford fight. I believe it was the Amir Khan fight, if I'm not mistaken. But it was definitely after one of Terence Crawford's fight.
Mr. Spence. What's up, Ken?
Hey, what's going on?
How you feel, Ken?
Y'all scared me.
So let's talk about, did you watch the Terence Crawford fight?
Yeah.
What's your impression of it?
Good fight. Terence did what he supposed to do.
Okay.
Good fight. Terence did what he's supposed to do. So this is another thing that I've noticed when it comes to Terence Crawford and his team. When they speak of Errol, it's like they speak with the utmost venom and vitriol, and, you know, name calling him a drunk, you know, low blows, stuff like that. But majority of the time, there are maybe little slights that Errol takes at Terence Crawford, but like, it's usually founded on fact. Like, oh, his last pay-per-view, you know, wasn't the hottest seller, or didn't sell like hotcakes, or he's not been promoted right, things like that. But I haven't really seen. He said Terence Crawford, good fight. He did what he was supposed to do.
Now, let's talk about the article. You're making headway now.
I didn't read the article.
Well, you said it. So you basically said that Bob Arum is not promoting him well.
He not.
So this is Barbershop Conversations speaking with Errol Spence live, right? And he says you made headway and you made headlines stating that Bob Arum is not promoting Terence Crawford well. Listen what Errol says.
Bob Arum is not promoting him well.
He not promoting well, because even like throughout the whole promotion of the fight, and y'all keep it 100. But it's not saying Lumberchico name every time they say Terence Crawford.
The boy Errol, hey, stop that cat. Hey, man, damn. He said throughout the promotion, keep it 100. If we being real, we being real. Keep it. Y'all got to keep it 100. You know what I mean? Keep it 100. He says the whole promotion, they keep talking about Lomachenko, which is ironically something that I've noticed and something that I've stated. Listen, for the record, this is my personal opinion. Boxing ego, you know, the Dawn. Terence Crawford is a better fighter than Lomachenko. He's harder to beat. He is more fierce and competitive. And I don't care about the 2 gold medals and all that. I'm talking about as a professional fighter, Terence Crawford is a better fighter. Boom. There, I said it. But let ESPN and Top Rank tell it. Lomachenko, he walks on water. And Lomachenko gets the headlines and the press, and he gets boosted up. Listen, the reality is this. Everything I'm saying is true. I make boxing look pretty. I make this game look good. Everything I'm about to say is true. Lomachenko doesn't even have 20 fights under his belt as a professional. I don't care about the amateurs. Amateurs in the amateur circuit, if he wanted to stay an amateur forever, then he should have stayed there till he was 80. You know what I mean? We're talking about professional boxing. In the professional ranks, Lomachenko does not have 20 fights under his belt, and he's already been beaten soundly 2 times by 2 different people, none of which he's ever rematched. So when there's a black fighter like Andre Ward, who has a controversial fight with Kovalev, it is almost obligatory that Andre SOG Ward come back and fight Kovalev and go into the battlefield and go into the danger zone again to prove that he can beat Kovalev with no commotion, right? Same thing with Sugar Ray Leonard when he lost to Roberto Duran. He fought Duran immediately in the second fight, and he did fight him a 3rd time as well, winning the second and 3rd fight, right? You got to know your boxing history. Floyd Mayweather, easy work. I ain't got to worry about it. Like I said before. That's my old work, right? Floyd, anytime he was in a tough fight with Maidana or Castillo that people still bring up to this day, when he was doing those tough fights like that, people said, oh, Floyd, oh, why you lost and it was a draw. Floyd rematched those guys and showed you he can beat them even easier, made even more adjustments. And the end of question. Lomachenko, that's not what he's done. When Lomachenko has lost to Orlando Salido, his team didn't make that fight happen. They at one point they were saying they're in negotiations with Salido, but he wanted too much money. Pay the man, Shirley. Get him what he wants, because what he took from you is more impressive than money. So to this day, now it don't even matter, because Salido, I don't even think he competes anymore. You know what I mean? He was stealing beers in Mexico or something last time I checked. Like Nip said, last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rat. You know what I mean? Like Nip said, last time I checked, he was stealing cervezas. So that fight is long gone at this point. But the point I'm making is they could have been fought and did the rematch, but they didn't. But Lomachenko is praised by ESPN and Top Rank and gets the red carpet treatment. This is what your boy Errol Spence is calling out, and it's something that I've called out as well.
The whole promotion of the fight, and y'all keep it 100. But it's not saying Lomachenko name every time they say Terence Crawford. Even after the fight, they kept saying Lomachenko, comparing Terence Crawford to Lomachenko, Terence Crawford to Lomachenko, even after the fight. Like, why are you even mentioning his name when you got Terence Crawford fighting on pay-per-view? Why are you mentioning him?
Why are you even mentioning Lomachenko's name and you got Terence Crawford who's on pay-per-view? This is supposed to be his outing, his pay-per-view, and they keep talking about Lomachenko and comparing Lomachenko. And like I said, if we really want to go that route, like let's say this how you know is bias over there, you know, with ESPN, and it's different, because at the end of the day, if we're really being real, Lomachenko is not as good as Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford's a better fighter. He's harder to beat. Listen, if you put Terence Crawford with any top name at 147, there's a chance Terence Crawford could win. if you put Lomachenko in, I could think of several guys that if you put Lomachenko in with right now, in or around his division, there's no guarantee that he actually wins. All things being fair, no crazy scorecards or unfair advantages, there's not a guarantee that he will win. And he might lose bad, depending on who we're talking about. And that's why they never wanted Lomachenko to move up to 140, 147, because they know he'll get slaughtered. He'll get slaughtered. Can you imagine him at 47? Like, they were comparing Lomachenko on ESPN and HBO to Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Do you understand that Floyd Mayweather fought at 150 plus against Canelo Alvarez, and you see how good he is? He's always been good, you know what I'm saying? And he's bigger than Floyd. He was younger than Floyd. Can you imagine? That would be like Lomachenko fighting Jaron Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz at 147. They would never do it. They don't even want him. They won't even allow him to fight Devin Haney. They franchised him. But for some reason, Terence Crawford's precious airtime is being wasted with Lomachenko talk. So Errol Spence and myself, Boxing Ego, we've been right on this situation. Terence Crawford has not been given a fair shake promotion-wise. When they talk about certain fighters, especially Caucasian fighters like Tyson Fury and Vasily Lomachenko, there's a certain level of dignity that they're being given on the telecast. You got Mark Kriegel doing poems. Lomachenko held his breath underwater for almost 8 minutes. Can he hold his breath for much longer to get a Gervonta fight? Like, and he's doing all these soliloquies and haikus and poems and all this stuff. And then Terence Crawford, he up here whooping everybody. He stopped everybody that he could fight, aligned with Top Rank or whatever. At welterweight, he stopped everyone. Lomachenko couldn't even stop Comey after he had him doing the stanky leg. Everything I'm saying is fact. So Terence Crawford is much better, but he doesn't get treated when he was with them. He wasn't getting treated like he's much better. That's a problem. In any other business, like if you're a record label and you got Beyonce or Rihanna signed to your record label, or Adele or Jay-Z or Drake, they probably got special perks. And, I read something that Drake, y'all better not come to my studio with that fake. Yeah. I was running through the 6 with my woe. You know how that go, right? The boy Drizzy, they said his album Scorpion, or one of the albums, he didn't even have a budget. They just said put together something nice because they know Drake's good for it, and he gonna do 1 billion trillion Spotify streams and have the #1 album and all that. So they didn't even give him a budget. Like, he had no threshold that he had to absolutely stay in, but they're not going to give that same treatment to anybody. So the point being, you take care of your best people. But that wasn't the case for Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford better than Tyson Fury, to be honest. I think first of all, he's not a crackhead. Like Terence Crawford, he's not doing drugs and a bunch of stuff like Tyson Fury. He's not failed a drug test and things like that. So I gotta rate him higher, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have no blemish on his record. Everything, he's undefeated like Tyson Fury, but he don't have no blemishes outside, like eating wild boar penis and all that. He doesn't have that under his resume. You know what I mean? But he never got treated like that. And I've said this, and now Errol's saying it. More proof.
He's trying to promote Terence Crawford, but they kept saying his name throughout the whole promotion. And I wasn't even paying attention to the final promotion, none of that, until the week of. And then I, watched videos and things like that. And they just kept saying his name, like big him up. Stop talking big up Lomachenko.
Do you think it's intentional? Do you think that's an intentional plan?
He said, why aren't you bigging up Terence Crawford? You keep bigging up Lomachenko. He's the pay-per-view person. You put, how you gonna put Loma on regular TV and then put Terence Crawford on pay-per-view, but you keep talking about the guy who's not on pay-per-view? It just doesn't make sense. Like, let's say PBC. You got Gervonta Davis, Wilder, Errol. Okay, them guys on pay-per-view, right? So you don't not talk about Gervonta Davis to keep talking about some other guy You know, that's not even on pay-per-view. It don't make sense. Take care of your best people.
Like, big him up. Stop talking big up Lomachenko.
Do you think it's intentional? Do you think that's an intentional plan based off of what Bob Arum said after the fight?
I mean, I don't know if it's intentional. I mean, it could be intentional, but it could be subconscious. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just how they are. You know, I think Lomachenko, that guy, I think they was forced to really promote Terence Crawford, but he kept winning.
Do you think Bud is comfortable over there just basically being Bud? Or do you think he wants
Terence Crawford a fighter, man. You know, I respect Terence Crawford. I got his number.
See, more respect. This is years ago. He did this interview as well. He said, I respect him. I got his number.
I respect Terence Crawford. I got his number. He got my number. Like, I respect him. I like him a lot. You know, I feel like he's a real fighter. He's a good guy and things like that. But you know, it's the business side too.
No.
I think he kind of capped his ceiling. You know, signing a deal. You know, for 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Do you think he's just comfortable saying, I'm just going to fight out this contract?
I think he's comfortable, but I mean, like I said, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's, you know, it's his thing. He's comfortable with it. That's what he like to do. That's what he's gonna do. I mean, everybody's different.
Errol, do you feel like the fight will eventually happen?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen.
Boom. He said, I don't know. So once again, when you hear Errol Spence speak on Terence Crawford, it's not a bunch of malicious stuff. From what I've seen, he's saying little gems. Like when he got the Pacquiao fight, this is what he said. He said, hashtag blame Bob. I got the fight that you said you wanted. You know what I'm saying? You got to blame Bob. Look, keep calm. What is this? Keep calm and blame Bob. I don't even know what that is, but look, it said keep calm and blame Bob. Man, but that's my thing is like, look, everyone's saying blame Bob. See? But Terence Crawford, he didn't want to blame Bob. But then look, so Errol Spence was like, hey, stop that cat, blame Bob. You know what I mean? Saying all that when he got the Pacquiao fight. Cause he was rubbing it in his face, basically. Like, dang, I got the fight you've been saying you gonna fight in Abu Dhabi and Qatar and Dubai and all this. And I got it just with my team. And Pacquiao, you know, we made him a deal, or, you know, we made the deal and we made it shake. Boom, 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 boom. Right? And that's the reality of it. And he did get the fight. The only reason it didn't happen is because his eye. And now it doesn't matter because Pacquiao's retired. And the guy that beat Pacquiao, he about to fight. And they say it's probably going to be at AT&T Stadium. So Errol, he's been right, just like me. Errol Spence said there's a business side to it too. So myself and Spence talking about hashtag blame Bob, your own teammate, you know, making sure you get these opportunities. And then now, isn't this, by way of this lawsuit, isn't he basically blaming Bob? Look at what it says. Bob Arum simply, quote, this is a direct quote, simply does not care about support or know how to promote black fighters and deliberately didn't build Crawford into a marquee pay-per-view star. Crawford's also 34 now. So, you know, there's new guys coming in the game, Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, Conor Ben, and he's 34. And, you know, we don't know what his next move is, but you got to make your next move the best move. Crawford shines a spotlight on systemic racism that runs through Top Rank's complete inability to properly promote black fighters, and Top Rank, Arum and his stepson, Todd DeBuff's disparate treatment of black fighters, including Crawford. So, I mean, it's just looking crazy because the whole time Crawford fans and Crawford's team basically were saying, oh, Errol, he's ducking. It's his fault. He don't want no smoke. Woo, woo, woo. But then fast forward to the future, Crawford said that, you know, Errol is the one that don't want the fight and, you know, he's ducking. Errol Spence was saying stuff like in the clip I just played for you, saying, hey, they're not even really promoting him. They rather talk about Lomachenko. True. This is why Crawford's suing Top Rank. And he's also saying stuff like blame Bob. And then now, fast forward to the future, he's suing Bob. So he, in essence, you're finally listening to what Boxing Ego and Errol Spence and other fans who were concerned had to say. There's no other way to put it. So again, I'm big on accountability. Terence Crawford is just now playing catch up with things that myself and Errol Spence have been saying. Ego Stradamus strikes again. And then now we're hearing stuff like Eddie Hearn says that he talked to Crawford's reps about potentially working together. He said, I'm interested because he's a great fighter, but I think we'll struggle to deliver the numbers he wants. So it's really weird from Crawford, from a business decision, that seemingly PBC is the best fit because they have all the competition that he would probably need to fight to close out his career, similar to what Manny Pacquiao, it's up to my promoter, right? This is what Pacquiao did. He was with Top Rank most of his career, but then for the end, he closed his career with PBC because he felt he was set up in the Jeff Horn fight, and you know the money was there and the bigger fights were there, and he closed his career out legendary status because he fought guys that people wanted to see him fight, and 2 of 3 he won. The Broner fight he won, the Keith Thurman fight he won, and then he lost the late replacement Ugas fight, who Errol Spence is now about to fight. So it's like, you can't make this stuff up. People have been reaching out and telling Crawford what it is. Crawford seemingly didn't agree, but in essence, in a way, you've kind of conceded and you do agree. You know, all the talk about the NBF list, no black fighter list, and then now that you're free from contractual obligations, you're suing the same people. So you're basically agreeing to what Errol Spence and myself have been saying. That's how I see it. Checkmate.
The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.
Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.